Right, some bad news on the development front. One of the parts failed quality control. We know how to fix it, but it'll take some extra resource. It's on hold for now, but you can order the extra work from the laptop at any time.
What's up guys, and welcome back to a brand new episode of my F1 2017 career mode. Finally, episode number 70 and the halfway point of season 4, and a big milestone today, my 500th YouTube video, which is a pretty mental achievement. But a massive thank you for you guys for the support on all 500 videos and all of you that have come and gone over the years. But this is it. This is Silverstone, the halfway point of season 4 in this career mode. And first of all guys, you might notice a sound difference because I'm using a brand new microphone. I thought it'd be a good occasion to crack open a brand new microphone that I purchased recently, a pretty decent one of that. I'm still trying to get it figured out in terms of how to set it up and making sure that it's the best settings. Also, I can only use this microphone in practice and qualifying as it's post-commentated, whereas the race itself is live commentated. And because my mic support stand hasn't arrived yet, I can't use the mic because I need to put the mic somewhere, and unfortunately I haven't got the support stand yet. So I'm just sort of testing this out in practice and qualifying, and it'll probably be like this for the next few episodes until Monday arrives, when obviously I get my stand and I can actually commentate the races with that. So most likely Tuesday's career mode video will be completely done with this brand new microphone. But also I do apologise guys in the last episode for labelling it episode 70 when it should have been 69. A lot of you guys hit me up in the comments, let me know that I put the wrong episode number in, and I do apologise for it. Just a distract. I don't know, I got distracted and I just put the wrong number in, but we've sort of fixed that now and we're back on track, and this is episode number 70 for the British Grand Prix. And we had a very good Friday practice Friday practice session as you would have seen on the screen right now as I get my words mixed up there. And we're now jumping into Saturday qualifying, and the car felt brilliant around here. Like, it felt really good. The cars felt great since Canada, and this track was no different. It definitely didn't feel as good as the last few races, but it still felt very good. And in Q1 you can see we safely got through on soft compound tyres there in P5, and moving into Q2 now, switching over to the Red Bull super soft compound tyres, and you can see we got stuck behind Sergio Perez here, and he actually causes a bit of trouble through Maggots and Beckett's, and it costs us a pretty big handful of time, to be honest. And as we go through the second sector split, we are going to be 2 tenths up somehow on Raikkonen, albeit Kimi being on the slower, softer tyres. But still, you know, Perez cost us a bit of time there. We do go fastest, but at the end of the session we would drop down a few places because of obviously a bit of lap time that we lost there. But still, third place, not too shabby. Perez ironically goes fastest in Q2, and Hamilton takes second place. So Mercedes 2-3, 2 British drivers driving for the Silver Arrow is pretty good for the home fans to obviously cheer on. But moving into Q3 now, and into my best lap of the session, and straight away into turn 1, flat out, also through turn 2, 100 meter ball for turn 3, down to 4th gear, pick up the apex, very nice, just smooth run through there, and then bring the nose in, flick over to the left hand side for turn 4, short shift to 4th gear, and then eventually go up through the rest of the gears, flat out through the little kink at 5, and then onto the Wellington straight. And basically at this point into Brooklyn, so you're looking for pretty much almost a 50 meter board, down to 5th gear, my personal preference, and then down 1 more gear down to 4th for Luffield. You can use 3rd, I prefer 4th because it gives me a much better drive off of the corner, which is pretty damn important going onto the old pit straight back in the day with the old main pit straight, and then into the old turn 1 Cops corner, flat out, very nice run through there, and not extending too much, otherwise you will get your lap time invalidated. And then into Maggots and Beckett's here, flat out through the first 2, and then a little lift into the 3rd one, and then finally through sort of the exit of Beckett's into Chapel. Then we've got to sort of, you know, take the normal racing line. But so far, a very good lap, and we're a couple of tenths up here on Kimi Raikkonen, so it's been a fantastic lap so far, with just over a minute to go in Q3 here. And now through Stowe corner, 6th gear, really just pushing the limit of the track there, using all of the tarmac available, and then into the final couple of corners now through the Val chicane, 3rd gear, short shifting to 4th through the second right hander, and then finally flat out through the club corner, final corner, and across the line, and we go fastest in Q3, and that is pole position provisionally until Sebastian Vettel comes through to take it from us, unfortunately in the dying embers there. And Raikkonen comes home in 3rd, Lewis Hamilton in 4th, and Perez in 5th. So that top 5 covered by just about 3 tenths there, so a very close top 5 battle for pole there. But eventually it's a German who comes out on top on British soil, and Vettel takes pole for the British Grand Prix. But that was the story of Saturday qualifying, and we're now going to move into Sunday for the race of round number 10 of the season for the British Grand Prix. Right, so here we are then for race day at Silverstone, round number 10 of the season, and pretty much the halfway point in this season 4 of career mode. And we are here for P2 on the grid at a very, very wet and soggy Silverstone and British Grand Prix. And as you can see, it's intermediate conditions, and it's going to really throw a spanner into the works for this race. Obviously, I was expecting it, hence why in Q2 I qualified on the super soft compound tyres, but still, it's going to make it for a very interesting race here, and a first fully wet race for a long time. Like, obviously better rain than the last one, but this one's actually wet the entire way through, so it's going to make things very, very interesting here for obviously race and also race strategy. But obviously, speaking of race strategy, if you look on the screen right now, it's looking like a simple one stop. Obviously, the Inter should be able to make that. I'm hoping that AR might go for a 2-stop, because if they do, that's going to open up the opportunity for me to go for a 1-stop instead of a 2. And also, fuel-wise, you can see that I've run a fuel by 1.5 laps, because obviously when I run in the wet conditions in standard mix, I tend to save a lot of fuel anyway. So it should be pretty straightforward for us in terms of strategy here today. So it's going to be a question of, do we have the raw pace to beat Kimi Raikkonen, who's the man on my left-hand side and on pole position today, and can I bring home a race win on my 500 video and in front of my home fans here? So there's a lot of pressure today to try and get a result, so hopefully we can have a good race. So without further ado, let's jump straight into round number 10 of the season for the British Grand Prix. Right then, here we go. We're going to gear up to the 5 red lights for the British Grand Prix, and it's lights out and away we go. Incredibly quick 5th light here, and we've actually reacted pretty poorly to it, similar to what we did in Canada. And Raikkonen's made the move on us. Perez on my outside, Hamilton on my inside, 3 wide into turn 1 here, and we actually had to force Perez out wide there for a moment, but both of the Ferraris have actually slipped through, or should I say Raikkonen at least slipped through. And no apologies, I thought Raikkonen was on pole, but it's actually Vettel there, so I did make a mistake. But it's a 1-2 for Ferrari. Vettel leads the way, and there's big pressure on Sebastian and also Lewis, who's behind me, to really get a good race result and actually pick up some solid points, because they're dropping behind in the World Drivers' Championship behind myself and Kimi. So also Kimi, to be fair, needs a result. After the last race, I've got a very comfortable cushion, and I want to try and extend that cushion a little bit more this race, getting a good result here in my home race. But even if we have a bad race, we've got the points, obviously. Oh, the back end just snapped at me there. I was going to say we do have the points to afford a bad result, but obviously this is one track where I don't want to get a bad result at, so I want to try and crack on here and have a good race. And the Ferraris are really on it early on here at Silverstone, and really setting the pace. Okay, so sitrep, the Ferraris have just stepped up the pace amazingly. They're so flipping quick. We're trying to keep up with them, but it's nearly impossible. I mean, they're just pumping in ridiculous lap times every single lap. I mean, I've done a personal best pretty much every single lap of this race, and I still can't match them. Like, that lap alone, they were almost a whole second, if not, yeah, they were a whole second faster than me. So I can't respond to their pace right now, and I'm keeping Perez at bay, but Ferrari's pace in these conditions is absolutely incredible. Oh my god, a 42.4. What is that lap time? That's ridiculous. I'm nowhere near that. I mean, I've just done a personal best, but I'm still a whole second off the pace. Vettel is setting a madness of lap times at the minute. Also, a growing concern of mine is my tyre wear. I mean, I don't think I'm going to make this 1-stop. I think it's going to be near impossible, and I'm thinking I'm going to have to switch to a 2-stop. And this is very frustrating, because if this tyre upgrade that I had planned for this race would have arrived, who knows, I might be able to make the 1-stop work. But I think as things stand, I'm going to have to switch to a 2-stop strategy. So this is very frustrating. Right, we're going to come in now this lap and switch up the strategy to a 2-stop. The Ferraris are staying out, so we're not going to beat them on the 1-stop and on current pace, so we may as well do something different. I mean, we're not going to get any better than 3rd place, so we might as well just try the alternative. So we're going to come in and strap on a fresh set of intermediates, and hopefully that will see us through. Maybe give us a bit of a different option for the strategy and try and maybe undercut the Ferraris. I mean, who knows, if we can just undercut the Ferraris now and have a very good opening couple of laps and the Ferraris go for the 1-stop, who knows, I might actually come out ahead of both of them, and then maybe we can sort of take it from there and try and manage the tyres to the end of the race. But for now, I just got to go off that first set and try something different, because otherwise we're not going anywhere this race. So let's see how this all pans out. Looks like I'm going to rejoin quite comfortably in some clean air here. I think hopefully if I can get up to speed, I can try and rejoin ahead of this huge train of cars being led by Esteban Ocon. It's going to be close, but we are just going to get in front of the Frenchman. So critical that we join and rejoin, should I say, ahead of that force in there. A huge train of cars here actually, and Hamilton's in this train. So I wonder if Hamilton's got some sort of issues, because he's had no pace today at all, literally no pace whatsoever. So maybe he's struggling. But either way, we're going to keep on going and try and push on now and see what we can do. Right, really pushing hard now. 42.3, kicking up the pace to a new level and a higher gear to really try and push on here and chase after Sebastian Vettel. The Ferraris have not pit yet, so the undercut is well and truly a possibility that I'm looking at the moment, because if we can just come out ahead of the Ferraris, I can maybe manage my tyres later on and see if I can maybe do a better job of looking after them later on in the race. But for now, it's all out attack to try and get ahead of those Ferrari cars. Oh wow, Vettel responds with a 42.2. Unbelievable. So the battle is on right now. Ferrari are responding. They know I'm setting the good pace, and Ferrari really trying to respond to my change of pace here. Into the lower 1 minute 42s here, trying to respond to Vettel, pushing as hard as we possibly can here to try and undercut the Ferraris. Let's keep going. Alright, here we go then. Cars in the pit lane. At least I can see Sergio Perez. The question is there a Ferrari in the pit lane? And if so, have we done enough? And oh my god, we've not done enough here. At least not to catch Vettel. He's miles up the road. That's unbelievable. Oh wow, the Vettel's pace this weekend, not this weekend, today alone, I just cannot touch. Who knows, if we just keep pushing here, we might be able to get Raikkonen. Maybe Raikkonen's pace wasn't as good as his teammates, but Sebastian Vettel just showing exactly why he's a 4-time world champion. Unbelievable pace here today. Another fast lap of the Grand Prix, still pushing here. Raikkonen's exiting the pit lane right now, so he's also had some incredible pace, and this has been so frustrating. I mean, we've definitely gained time, but oh my god, the Ferraris have been unbelievable. Like, they've just been untouchable, and can we match them now on these warnings? We'll have to wait and see, but geez, that did not work out how I expected it to. They've been so quick. I mean, so quick. Okay, that's the end of the race then. Ferraris into the low 1 minute 41s. I can't be bothered anymore. Those guys are on another level this weekend, or today specifically, in these conditions. They're just so damn quick. So the best we can do is P3, so let's just try and bring the car home. I'm expected to pit this lap if I want to do the two-stop strategy, so I probably will come in, even though I'm going to lose the position to Perez. I would rather just switch tyres, because the second these go off, like in the first stint, I've got absolutely no pace. But then again, I don't feel the tyres are that bad. I mean, it's going to be marginal if I go to the end of the race, but I don't know, it's just such a slow pit lane, so we'll see. I'll make a decision before the end of the lap. I've decided to stay out because, you know what, I've got track position. The pit lane is one of the slowest ones around, and who knows, if there is like a last minute safety car or something in it, you just never know. Maybe that'll be a better time to pit and maybe mount a late challenge. So I think I'm just going to stay on track, keep my position and keep circulating. Perez is lapping a little bit faster than me now, but I'm not too concerned. Even if it catches me, I think I'll have the pace to defend. Like I said, I've got a brand new power unit in the car this race, so we should be okay in terms of being able to defend in a straight line. So if he does catch me, I'm not too worried. But he's going to have to get his foot down because he hasn't got many laps left. So I think right now, it's definitely going to be one of the most boring races I've ever done, because literally, I don't think there's been a single overtake. But that's just how it happens sometimes. Sometimes there are some really, and I mean really dead races. It's definitely one of the worst ones I've ever done. But you do have them sort of races sometimes. Oh wait, yellow flag. Vettel's dropped into P2. Does Sebastian Vettel have an issue, or is he out of the race? I think he is. Sebastian Vettel is out of the British Grand Prix. Bang. There you go, on cue. I said something would happen, and I'm surprised it happened that quickly, to be honest. I'd like a safety car from that, but I don't think I'm going to get one. So Raikkonen is now going to inherit the race lead, and he's back in a race-winning position, and he's going to get a big points boost, and he's going to need some desperately needed points for his championship. But meanwhile, Sebastian Vettel, that could be the end of his season already. The fact he's missed out on 25 points after dominating this race might be the end of his World Drivers' Championship hopes at the British Grand Prix already at the midway point of the season, unless his second half of the season is absolutely mega. So that is absolutely incredible, and we're up into second place now, so this is looking pretty damn good. Right, I might have messed up because I think my front left is not going to make it, so I'm going to come in now. I mean, thanks to Vettel, we are probably going to easily get a podium, but the question is, can we recover second place? It's going to be a stretch, but Perez is catching me pretty damn quickly, and we're just losing time left, right and centre, so we're just going to have to come in, bite the bullet, and get our fresh 70 minutes in the car. It's been pretty much a disaster of a race. I'm pretty disappointed, to be honest, and the race has just not been great. Pace has been poor, and also obviously video wise, content wise, a pretty rubbish race. So disappointing overall. So I'm just hoping to enjoy these last 5 laps or so and set some good lap times. But hopefully the next race is a lot more entertaining, has a lot more action boost. Also, I'm pretty damn bored after only doing 21 laps. So hopefully we can just enjoy this remaining part of the Grand Prix and try and set some good lap times, like I said. But as you see, we are going to rejoin comfortably in P3. No issues with, obviously, those around us. So we're going to get a podium this race, but it definitely doesn't feel like one. But we're just going to push now and see if we can, obviously, we're not going to catch Perez unless a miracle happens. So let's just maybe get the fastest lap, I guess, and try and do the Fernando Alonso and try and bring that one home at least. Can't even do a fastest lap of the race. That's laughable with my paces around here. That's pretty embarrassing. Raikkonen just did a fast lap with a 41.2, so I need to find 2/10 to try and at least get the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. There we go. First man into 1 minute 40s. That's the consolation. So we've got what we wanted. We can now cruise to the end. Right, into the final chicane. Kimi Raikkonen dominates the British Grand Prix, and I mean dominates. Sergio Perez gets a brilliant second place. I'm going to come home for P3 in my home race, the highest placed Brit in the race, but that definitely did not feel like a P3 performance. And I've got to say, I don't know where the rest of the other guys were. Ocon nowhere, and also Hamilton no pace at all. Hamilton just completely vanished this race. I don't know what happened, but he had 0 pace around here. That's very disappointing to see. But overall, that's a very, very lackluster race. I'm just disappointed in terms of, obviously, not even just career mode, but just a lack of overtaking for this video. And hope you guys can let this one slide as a bit of a bad video, and hopefully the next one will be a bit more overtakes. But that was definitely pretty rubbish. So other than that, that's going to wrap things up for the podium as Raikkonen wins and Perez is in second place, and I managed to round off the third step. Max Verstappen there in P5 for Red Bull, Ocon in P4, so Hamilton finished at least P6, so he must be way down there. But Perez also the man in form right now, along with myself, to be honest, in terms of overall consistency. And you could argue those 3 in the podium right now are the 3 most consistent people in the sport. But we are now going to jump into the race results and also drivers and constructor standings to see exactly how everything shapes up after that pretty dull race, to be honest. Right, so looking at the final race results, we know the top 3. Esteban Ocon gets P4, Verstappen in P5 ahead of Daniel Ricciardo, Magnussen gets P7 incredibly for Haas there, good result for him. Lewis Hamilton only manages P8, very poor race from him. I don't know what the hell happened with him, but he had a very, very poor race indeed. Felipe Massa and Lance Stroll ran at the points for Williams there, and further down the order, the main thing is obviously Sebastian Vettel with one and only DNF from this race and gifting me pretty much a podium. But in terms of the driver standings after that race, we actually still maintain our lead by 29 points. It has come down slightly, but still no major concerns there. And then Sebastian Vettel and Lewis Hamilton bang on 70 points behind. So those two really need to try and find a way back into the championship, because I think they could be out of it already after a poor run of results. But in terms of the constructors, we still hold the lead by 29 points over Ferrari. So overall, it's neck and neck, and that could go right down to the wire. But we're now going to jump into the laptop. Right, so after that race, we are going to purchase the upgrade that failed on us for this race, and that hopefully should arrive for the next race in Hungary. But something I've noticed, actually, going into this particular Grand Prix, Force India made an upgrade, and they've actually overtaken us, so we're now the 4th best team in the pole. So we've got to try and find some improvements and try and find them quick, because we're slipping behind. But it's literally neck and neck between Red Bull, Force India and ourselves. But Ferrari also brought an upgrade to this race, and they're still pulling away up the front. And also Renault as well, still pushing on here to try and become a top gem. If you look at the graph, it's Renault and also Force India who have made big strides in trying to improve, and they've really been in an upward spiral, and Renault is really trying to push to become a top team. But other than that, guys, that's going to wrap things up for this episode. And if you have enjoyed it, then I would appreciate a like on the video. Also, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and also do check out these videos on screen, and finally have a look at GTA Mega, and the link is down below in the description. Use the code TOM97 for 5% off at 5% discount at checkout. Other than that, guys, thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in my next video very soon. Goodbye.